Welcome to Inland Insight with IECN, hosted by Manny Sandoval and Denise Berber.
When we can just go ahead and hop in. And again, thanks for hopping on this quick call this morning. But so just to give our readers context in terms of what is going on, Naiping Hou is a 74-year-old male from Rancho Cucamonga. He was last seen in March. He was reported missing on May 4th after a welfare check was conducted at his home, and his home was or appeared to be completely gutted, vehicles sold, bank accounts drained. And so what specifically about the communication that you had with your dad leading up to May 4th, what was that pivotal moment that really made you suspicious when it came to your communication or his lack of communication?
Well, we do have a family chat that we use, share photos and pictures of everybody. He's a grandpa now, so he's obviously gonna see his grandkids online via text message. So for a while, this has been ongoing. We've been sending him, and he's been sending us food, photos, and everything, just typical family activities, you know. And then at some point, at around March, he started to be less active. So it's more slow response time. You know, he said he's tired when I ask him something. I had to remind him multiple times for some kind of online paperwork like DMV registration that's due earlier this year and taxes. And leading up to that, it's more of a buildup. And at around May, he stopped. He didn't want to. At around May, I asked him if he wants to come for his birthday because I have really young kids. I can't really travel nearly as frequently as before. And he did this last year to visit us for his birthday. He declined and he said he's too tired. He won't, call me back later and can't meet, which is somewhat disappointing, you know. But after that, I still, for his birthday, decided to send him a package send him some new handmade noodles that I made myself, and I sent it to him and overnighted. And on his birthday, he was not very responsive. You know, that's really strange because typically people are very happy. They're spending time with family or friends or doing something, not usually by themselves. You know, and he didn't share any photos. And I asked him if he received the package multiple times. And by 9 p.m., which is after dinner time, he said he received a package. Even though the package was delivered around, I want to say 11 a.m.
Gotcha.
And hence this is and he didn't share any photos. And he said, yeah, the package is delivered, which is it's not like it sounds like auto reply instead of
Right.
talking to a family member.
Yeah. So just very cold. And when was this conversation around? What was that exact date? You mentioned it was his birthday.
Yeah, it was on May 3rd.
May 3rd. Got it. And so that was that specific moment that you just a red flag in your head then basically, right? And so what did you do from that moment on?
So I called a couple of his friends who are close by. He plays ping pong with them and he hang out with them, play cards. We were on a fishing trip just in March, off the coast of San Pedro Pierce, and we had a good time. So I called him and asked to check on my dad, see if he's doing all right, because maybe he has some health issues or something.
Right.
Typical, I think, common. I mean, dad did have some health issues before. And when they got there, they were in shock. They saw the cars were gone, the windows was open, and the door was unlocked. And in particular, the package was on the porch. The same package that I saw that says delivered, the same one, the same picture as the UPS delivered photo. And so I knew that it was false that he received it or delivered. He didn't eat it either,
Right.
right? So It was unopened. And when they went inside, the whole house was empty and no furniture, personal items, nothing. It was completely clear. And it's a very strange thing because not only was the whole house cleared,
Mhm.
a fresh coat of paint was repainted, even though the house was just renovated a couple months ago from a flooding issue.
Right.
Hence, this whole thing is extremely bizarre. Yeah.
So as soon as you received that information, what was going through your head? What was your thought? I could not imagine, but what was going through your mind at that moment?
Yeah, so I was on a video call with these call with my dad's friends, and I was just completely uh, sad and shocked, and what a terrible thing that has happened.
Mhm.
And it took so long to find out about this, and I was disappointed in myself, and just a mix of emotions. This is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. And it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting. Yeah.
But Tamron and Jen, maybe this is where you come in, but what are the neighbors saying about this? What have the neighbors said anything? Has there been anything suspicious that the neighbors have maybe seen or saw during those months or weeks?
When from what I understand, they haven't obviously they interviewed and contacted everyone in the neighborhood, but that there wasn't anything substantial. Obviously, no one had reported seeing him recently, outside of the when he hung out with his friends on March 18th. Is that correct? That there was nothing that we're aware of?
Yeah, so I think the police interviewed them, and I talked to some of them, and they were able to give some vague information, but not like, oh, we know who the suspects are. It's more like, oh, they saw moving trucks on certain days, so we knew that somebody was moving stuff out outright. So I assume uh maybe that could lead to some leads, but like they see some people moving in and out, which is probably true from how they can't possibly move all the stuff in like a day. It's a lot of stuff. It's a couple thousand square feet to 3,000 square feet home, so it's a lot of stuff for someone who's much older and has a lot of personal items.
Mhm.
But they couldn't like they don't have a photo of them. I think I really don't know. I'm just speculating here at this point.
So just essentially they did see movement happening. That's kind of all they got out of it. So not necessarily leading to anything pivotal. So tell me about your dad. What is he like? Yeah, just tell us about him.
Um, well, my dad came here when I was really young. We grew up in San Gabriel Valley, and I moved to Rancho when I went to college. And he's a successful entrepreneur, I would say, because he came here with nothing, and now he's semi-retired. On his free days, he would go like fishing or do some metal crafting or woodworking in his garage. He has an RV, so he goes out to take his RV for a fishing trip or to visit me or go to some national park. So he's doing really well for himself. And my mom just happens to be traveling to meet a relative. So um, and he has a lot of collections of like teapots and so on and so forth. So he's very he's very busy for her 74-year-old man.
And then, you did mention you touched on the last time or one of the last times you saw him was San Pedro fishing. Great time. I'm assuming it
Yeah.
was deep sea fishing. What was that experience like with you and him?
Yeah, I was there to invite my dad to a fishing trip. It was a small boat. I invited a couple of his friends who were the ones that checked up on him, and we had a great time. We caught like 40 fishes. And we they were great, and we got that filleted, and everybody was so happy, and we had so many photos, and yeah, it was a good day too. It was good weather. So my dad had a great time. Nothing seems abnormal. He was just talking about how peaceful his life is and everything. So it's really good. It's a really good experience.
And just for context, when was that fishing trip?
Around it is on March 8th.
March 8th. And that was the last time you actually seen him in person?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. And so I know there is obviously an active investigation going, but what can the public do to help? What can we do to help locate your dad or help, lead to an arrest? What can we do?
Well, I want to say that this is a case where somebody's impostering my dad via a phone. I think that it's taking advantage of the elderly and the fact that they're not electronically savvy. And I think that people have to be very aware,
Mhm.
and maybe call your family members more frequently to verify their well-being.
Mhm.
So that will be my advice. I think that in this particular case, I think that we thought it's easy to communicate via text and phone, but sometimes in my particular case, it's unfortunate this has happened.
Yeah. And I think, even more so, what can the public or anyone who sees this or reads this article, what could they do to help spread the word that your dad is missing?
Yeah, well, I'm personally offering a $250,000 reward for any information that leads to my dad.
Mhm.
We'll have a website you guys could go to with a tip line that you guys could submit tips to, and there's a lot of information about my dad. Maybe that will help find him. You know, I really miss him, and I want him back. You know, I understand that the San Bernardino County Police is already investigating. I want to thank them for their efforts. Um, yeah,
No, I appreciate you sharing all of this, and I'm sure it's not easy to, share the same story multiple times. That has to be very draining and
sure.
exhaustive at the same time. So I am full of gratitude that you hopped on this call this morning here in California, but I know it's probably a different time of day where you're at. And yeah,
Yeah.
Cameron, thank you for coordinating the call